This is the Sports Stop with your hosts, James, Evan, and Kurt, only on WSJU Radio.
Hello, everybody. Good morning, and welcome to the Sports Stop on WSJU Radio, the voice of St. John's University. I'm WSU's own James Mitchell. Alongside me are my partners Kurt, Sam, and Evan McGuire here on Monday, October 20th. And it sure feels like October 20th out there, folks. The weather is between late high 40s and early 50 degrees out there. Leaves are changing, also falling on the ground. You got the leaf blowers going outside and blowing all the leaves all around. Not that, the wind doesn't need any help or anything. However, it is that time of year. And the stage is set. The actors are chosen. October 20th means just one thing. The Fall Classic. Of course, that's probably... it may not be the top story. There's so many top stories today. But before we get right into it, I want to ask my partners how they're doing today.
I'm doing fantastic. Just flat out fantastic.
I'm very happy for you, Kurt.
That is awesome.
Of course, we had a 2-week hiatus. We were, celebrating in Puerto Rico last week for Columbus Day. So that was fun.
I've never heard someone put it like that. Columbus Day, partying in Puerto Rico.
Party in Puerto Rico. For
because that worked out so well for all Puerto Rican people.
They don't.
But back to sports.
They know all about Columbus Day. That was thanks to the Cover 3 jet, sponsored by... Not the Cover 3 jet. Ooh, throwing it way back there. I got to put a quarter in the jar. I thought that jar was filled already.
Nope.
The SportsStop jet.
I really thought you had it down by now.
I did too.
Wow.
It's Puerto Rico, man.
Puerto Rico, man.
So we hope you all had a fantastic week, whether you're listening on the TuneIn app or... on WSJUradio.weebly.com or downstairs in Marillac Cafeteria, or you were skipping through the channels on your television in the dorms. You heard my smooth-talking voice. You thought, hey, that guy might get me more dates with the ladies, and then you were sorely disappointed. Then you were surprised happily surprised because, of course, this is the Sports Stop. And speaking of Sports Stop, it is the...
I say one of my favorite parts about doing the show is just listening to the intro you come up with every single week. Because it's so just like I never can predict where it's going to go or where it's going to end up. But all you know is by the end of it is that you like it.
It's for the fans, really. It's really all for the fans.
It's all for the fans.
So we got a couple of top stories. Of course, the Fall Classic is underway. Well, it's not underway. The lights will be turned on to October baseball at its finest tomorrow night when the San Francisco Giants, the NL wildcard winner, takes on the Kansas City Royals, the AL wildcard winner.
2 wild cards.
Wow.
Yeah,
It's all about it.
Joker's wild, folks. Joker's wild. Of course, that'll be Madison Bumgarner going up against James Shields. Of course, we also had Peyton Manning doing something significant yet again. This time it's a little bit more significant because, yes, he threw for 4 touchdown passes, which put him, which leaped him over Brett Favre, who had the career record of 508 passes. Now Manning is at 510. Congratulations to Peyton Manning. What else happened yesterday? Oh, the Jags. The best top story of the day.
Yeah.
The Jacksonville Jaguars get their first win of the year.
And the Raiders didn't.
And the Raiders did not.
Gus Bradley was so fired up after the game in the locker room.
Yes, he had some sort of intense speech after.
Oh, yes.
And then at the end of the day, we're like, we just beat the Cleveland Browns, so...
Hey, Cleveland was playing pretty good up until
Cleveland,
that point.
What are they? Are they 3-3 now?
Yeah, I think.
That ain't bad.
Wow, it's not bad, especially for the Browns.
But let's talk. But more importantly, the Ravens are winning that division.
That's true.
A nice little cushion now.
Yep, and Torrey Smith and Joe Flacco seem to be getting on the same page.
Joe Flacco.
Torrey Smith leads the league in pass interference calls. No, he does. He leads most drawn pass interference calls 20 yards.
That's
more
because he only goes deep.
He just goes straight.
He doesn't know how to run a small route.
Okay, but I'm just saying, if it works, don't fix it.
That's right, as the door is being fixed.
That was my bad because I was closest to the door.
It's the way she goes. It's the way she goes. So let's start out with the World Series. I feel like that's a significant thing. Of course, it could go 7 games, which could mean we could be talking about it next week. But we'll see. Our predictions have been wrong. Severely wrong.
Every single one so far, I believe, for me.
I got the Orioles first round series right, the divisional round.
I got the AL wild card game right. I know I got that one.
I don't think I got anything yet.
Did you pick Oakland in the wild card?
Yeah.
Oh boy. Well.
I was the only one that picked Oakland. I couldn't be on Kansas City because they would have lost.
I think Abby picked Oakland.
Did he?
I think he did.
No, I thought he picked Kansas City.
No, I'm pretty sure he picked Oakland because you picked Oakland.
Okay.
Or maybe it just reminded him of some cricket team. Either way, I hope he's coming back to the radio.
He hasn't been back yet.
I haven't seen him.
It's all your fault, James.
Maybe.
You scared him out with the Derek Jeter comment.
Maybe.
When we were doing a Derek Jeter, I'll never forget that. That was so funny.
What did I say?
No, he was just like we just had our entire Derek Jeter segment for like half an hour, and then he
said,
came in. He's
some big guy.
Yeah, so
some big guy just retired. I've never heard of him. Jeter.
Derek Jeter, and we were like, oh.
Yeah, if you're out there, come on back.
Please do.
Yes. All right. So game 1's going to be Battle of the Aces. First of all, Kansas City swept, and San Francisco won 5 games. So they've had ample off time. And you can...
Which is key in baseball, probably more than any other, except football.
See, James doesn't think so.
I didn't think so. If the Cardinals won Game 5 or Game 4, I would have said that either one of the NL teams, in this case the Giants, would have won in 5 games or less. Would have won the World Series in 5 games or less.
But see, okay, you say that, and then like last show we were having this discussion when I was just like, I think it's better for the wild card teams who get to play that playing game and then get to go to the series. And you were like, no, that's not what's been like the last couple of years.
No,
you can't say
time
that.
Out. First of all, you did say that. I remember that, and I said, well, last year both wild card winners lost in the first round because we've only had 2 years of this, and it went from one extreme, the wild card winner going out in the first round, to the other extreme, the wild card winners going to the World Series. So I feel like it's still to be determined. You got to have at least like a 5-year sample.
I agree. But I think my main point I was trying to make on that
momentum.
And I think momentum in baseball is very key.
Right, and that's why I said that the Giants would win in 5 games or less.
Because they had too much off time.
Yeah. So now they're just both equal off time.
Now I see they have equal off time, yes. I mean, the Giants went Game 5, they played an extra game, but that's come on now.
Yeah.
So, yes, it's going to be Madison Bumgarner going against James Shields. Madison Bumgarner, of course, won Game 5. Oh, well, he didn't win Game 5. He didn't get the win, but they won.
He pitched in it.
He pitched fantastically in it. Of course, he won the NLCS MVP. No surprise there. And it's going to be an ace-off as James Shields, who has been struggling this postseason.
I just really like the phrase ace-off.
Okay. Who's been struggling this postseason. But let's see if he gets it done against the Giants at home. Personally, I think the Giants steal Game 1 on the road in Kansas City. No, sorry, Kansas City fans who's been waiting for a World Series. And
Paul Rudd inviting people over to his mom's house.
Yeah, a party.
Yep. That's awesome. But yes, sorry, Paul Rudd, but I think the Giants win Game 1 because Bumgarner's been so dominant this postseason. I mean, he
gave up 3 runs that game, and that's the most he gave up in the postseason so far, I think.
Yep, and all came via like solo shots. So a couple mistakes here and there.
Yeah, and then the other game when he gave up 3, two of them were unearned, or all 3 were unearned. So.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, he's been again phenomenal. That's why he won the NLCS MVP. Of course, Lorenzo Cain won the ALCS MVP. He hit over 500
and played amazing defense.
Of course, played amazing defense. So it's going to be See, these two teams, I don't think anybody predicted these two teams. I know,
Absolutely not.
of course we didn't, but these two teams are just on paper. They're good teams, but they're just scrappy and they just always find a way to win. And
That's what you really need.
exactly. The Royals, of course, are very scrappy, but if there's one team scrappier than the Royals, it might be the Giants.
I think the Royals are even scrappier.
I mean, the Royals have the run.
way in which I would say
Scrappiness.
the Royals do small ball, and they'll manufacture runs by just stealing, bunting,
yeah.
like that. The Giants are scrappy and they won't give up runs, but they won't score runs, and then they always
when
find
it's
a way.
important,
And
they
they always
score the
find,
run.
and they always get
they get that home run late in the game or
yeah,
something.
Right. Of
because
course.
they
Or
just
Ishikawa with
cycle
three-run
through
home
one
run.
of those,
Yeah.
and so many guys on that 1 through 8, or now it's gonna be
Bumgarner's 1 through
sometimes 1 through 9.
Right.
Bumgarner is included in that.
Yeah.
He's definitely going to win the Silver Slugger.
And then also when they go,
Choice.
but don't they get the DH because they're going to
Yes.
Kansas City?
Yep, for the games 1 and 2, and then 6 and 7.
And
if
then you have so
necessary.
many people in that they have Buster Posey, Pablo Sandoval, and all these people.
I mean, Michael Morse would be the DH. I think there's no doubt
And
about
Morse
that.
coming up clutch in the
yeah, but
in that
I'm just
last
saying
game.
that you have so many people in late situations
Right,
that are
yes.
used to coming up in a World Series and stuff like that. And Kansas City, they're just going in fresh, coming in hot, and just hoping that will and just do what they did all year because that's what they have to go on. And then I think the Giants come to it, and Bruce Bochy's going to be like, "We've been here before. We know what we have to do. Let's
Right.
do it." And Kansas City's just well, this is the first time we've been good since the '80s.
Right. I
But
mean,
we just got to keep what we've been doing.
It's that classic case of experience versus young, rash talent. It's,
But I think the Royals kind of finally got they're a team now. It used to
Yes.
be just a bunch of individual players,
Right.
And now they're kind of playing as a unit,
Right. I mean, back in '85 when the Royals won the World Series, they had George Brett, a surefire Hall of Famer. I don't know if any of this Royal team's going to be in the Hall of Fame. I mean, maybe Greg Holland as a reliever, but I don't. If you go around this lineup, Eric Hosmer, Mike Moustakas,
Hosmer.
Alex Gordon.
Alex Gordon's probably their most consistent offensive.
Yeah, they're great players.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can't.
As of
They're
right
too
now,
young
no
to
way.
say,
Yeah,
As a
they're
way,
too young. But Mike Trout is
Yeah.
very young, and
Yeah,
you can obviously tell that
Or
he
a
is
Puig.
on the way to
and Puig if
a
he
possible
can
Hall of Fame
fix
career.
his blunders,
Issues.
kind of.
Right. So I mean, some are obvious choices for the Hall of Fame, even at that young age, as long as they keep the track up. But I don't see that with the Royals,
I mean, the only one
and
that's,
I like that.
Yeah.
And but then again, you do see on the Giants if you because they're also in the World Series.
Right.
Buster Posey is someone I feel like when he's said done, he'll be in the Hall of Fame.
I think so too.
Yeah, I agree
And
with
then
that.
Pablo Sandoval might if he I don't
About
know.
Hunter Pence,
Hunter Pence, he's gonna
the
be.
goofiest guy potentially.
He is.
Yeah,
he plays
he is
so
the goofiest
goofy,
person.
and he even the way he bats and
Yeah.
the way he feels is goofy, but he's so good at it.
I know, whatever works. The Giants have this motto it's ugly but it works, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Win ugly or something like that. And whatever works, whatever floats your boat, guys. I mean, as long as you win games and you get that ring, okay.
Yeah, but
Who am I to complain?
I think in Game 1, I do see the Giants getting to Shields earlier than the Royals getting to the Giants, and then I feel like Kansas City does have a good bullpen, but once you have to, I feel like James Shields might have to leave early, in the 4th inning or something like that, if he starts giving up a lot of hits.
I mean,
And then it's very, no matter how good your rotation is, it's really hard for your bullpen to give you even, I would say, 4+ innings of relieving.
Right, and the thing with these two teams is that they probably have the best bullpens in baseball.
yeah.
Well, that's probably why they're there, though.
I mean,
I think Kansas City is
Kansas City has
one.
the best,
Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
Giants.
The Giants have a pretty good one too. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think they've given up either team has given, or Holland gave up 1 run in the postseason. That's because he had a 4-game lead or whatever.
Whatever.
And then
I mean,
I don't know if
all the
Giants did.
a lot of the relievers, if you're counting the wild card game as the postseason,
Yeah.
Royals, they gave up some runs. that wild card game, the Giants didn't need any bullpen help. Of course, Bumgarner went a complete game shutout because he's so good. But yeah, I think these bullpens, they're 1-2. You can argue whichever one's 1. You can argue whichever one's 2. I do think the Royals are 1 only because they've just been so dominant, and they all have
They all have
nasty
cannons.
Yeah, they all have cannons and nasty stuff to go along with it. They throw 98 mile an hour fastballs and 89 mile an hour sliders. Come on now.
The guy with the least strongest arm is Holland.
I know.
That's the funny part.
It's ridiculous. It's insane.
And he still throws 96.
That's
Right?
Come on.
That's pretty nice to go to.
And a lot of them have very nice beards.
Beard, dude.
And
that used to be the Giants thing.
I know. And
Giants
going
used to
back
be the beard
and
guys.
going back to the Giants, they had Brian Wilson saving World Series games. They had
Brian
Sergio
Wilson
Romo.
back then was filthy.
Yes, and they had Sergio Romo, who's still on the team, but he's not really the closer. That nasty slider and that beautiful beard.
It's all about the
It's all about the beard.
It's all about the beard game.
Big bushy beards. That's what it's all about.
I feel like not a lot of them have the beards this year, though.
On
On the Giants.
the Giants, no, not really.
I haven't really seen that many.
There's always one team that's always like, we're gonna do the beard thing.
Yep. And you know
what?
what?
Last year was the Red Sox. They were like,
The-
we're gonna do the beard thing,
Yep.
even though it wasn't really a beard thing because it was just
Nah,
they
but
looked.
I
don't think
they
either.
just looked
No.
around their team and they're like, wow, a lot of our people have beards.
They already have
should,
beards.
we should just make this like a beard thing.
Yeah, I never want to see a beard on Dustin Pedroia ever again. That didn't look good. That didn't look good at all. Mike Napoli, though, he can grow a beard.
He looks so different when he shaved it this year.
He looked
it was
he
another
honestly looked
person.
like 8 years younger.
He was another person. It was crazy.
It was hilarious. So yeah, are we all in agreement? We think that the Giants are going to take Game 1 in Kansas City.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, but what I feel like my opinion now.
Yeah,
is just
yeah.
it's
I
just
think we are just
squat.
like-
It doesn't even matter.
See, back in my younger years, as a senior in high school, of course the
4 years ago.
yes.
4 or 5
Back
years
in my
ago.
younger years. There was
old
something
days.
called the Mitchell curse.
Oh God.
And the Mitchell curse was, if I chose against the team that I wanted to win, they would win. So the Green Bay Packers, I chose against them in the wild card game, in the divisional game, in the NFC Championship game, and the Super Bowl. And guess what?
They won.
They won.
That's true, but also
Yep.
I think also the fact that they had the best secondary in football. Clay Matthews was at his prime. B.J. Raji was destroying stuff in the middle. Aaron Rodgers had Greg Jennings, Donald Driver, and Jordy Nelson.
Yep.
And they also had who's their running back?
Was it
It wasn't Lacey. Who was their running back?
Ahmad Green?
Yeah,
No, it was not Ahmad Green. That was
Ahmad Green, early 2000s
that-
Packer running back.
I love Ahmad Green, but no, that
Was
was
it?
Who was their
No,
running
it was
back?
Ryan Grant.
Yes, it was
Ryan
Ryan
Grant.
Grant.
Ryan Grant. What?
But I feel like he was hurt. James Starks.
Starks came
Yep.
in during
Yeah.
the playoffs. Yep,
James
that's what
Starks
it was.
ran all over the Eagles, I believe.
Yep.
Yep, I remember that. Of course, the Packers were all on the road, so it wasn't absurd of me to think, because they were the 6th seed.
Yeah.
So it wasn't absurd of me to think that they would lose, but it's the Mitchell curse, and the curse
worked out.
the curse worked out. And I haven't done it in a long while, but I feel like it's very similar with this this MLB postseason, because everybody I've picked, they're gone.
Now that you're talking about it, though, I feel like it's kind of you're jinxing yourself.
Now you want to, yes.
Now you're jinxing the jinxing.
yeah,
That's
so-
right.
No,
Is that the plan?
now
or
we're getting onto levels of jinxing that I don't know if
mean,
anyone's ever been
No,
at.
listen. What we do is we're entertainers, and we're a talk show, and all I'm doing is talking. That's all I'm doing.
I'm talking here.
I'm just talking here.
I'm just talking in New York.
That's what it is.
Go
That's what it is.
Yankees. But
So, who do I want to win? I think the world, except for San Francisco, wants the Royals to win, just because San Francisco's won 2 out of the last 4 World Series.
yeah.
So, I mean,
Well, 2 for 5. That's why they're going for the
They're going-
50% right now.
that's
Yeah.
right. Every other year. See, the problem is it's an even year.
yeah, that's the biggest problem.
That's
That's
the
what it
biggest
comes
problem.
down to.
Yes, That the Giants just know how to win in the even years. Of course, 2010 they won the World Series, beating the Rangers. 2012 they beat the Tigers. Now this year,
And you know what's
they beat
funny
the
though?
Royals?
Because I think in 2011 and 2013 they didn't even make the playoffs.
I'm not sure.
I know
So they
one of
take
the years.
so
If only
they
we
win,
had
they
some
take a
sort of-
year off.
If only we have some sort of like device, such as a computer that we can take with us to
Yeah.
look this up. That's right in front of my two co-hosts. Evan actually has two devices.
They're out of my reach.
But yeah, honestly, I don't think they made the playoffs last year.
So they win the World Series, and then
Right.
they take a year off to
I mean,
let everyone catch up again,
It's the World Series hangover.
and then they come back and
ask,
win it again.
Just ask the Seattle Seahawks about the Super Bowl hangover.
I mean,
Losing to the Rams. Are you kidding me? The Rams.
We'll get back to that in the next segments, because our next segment's going to be NFL talk. That's going to be a lot of fun. But yes, now
My computer froze. So.
would it be smart of me?
See, this is why we can't do things.
This is why we can't do things.
Frozen computers.
Frozen computers.
These crazy devices. God.
The interwebs these days. But anyway.
That gosh darn Bill Gates always scamming us out.
All right.
And you too putting their music onto their hippie music onto my devices. Draining my battery life, that's what they wanted.
On a related note.
I don't know. So this has always been my internal struggle. Do I choose against the team I want to win, or do I choose who I believe will win, who just so happens to be the team I want to win? So
who are you going for?
I believe that the Giants are a very good team, and I believe that the Royals are a very good team.
That's why they're here.
Yeah, thank you for that in-depth analysis of the World Series.
That was my John Madden impression. I think the Giants are going to take Game 1. I say the Royals take Game 2 because they're going to take a game at home. So it's going to be 1-1 going 3 straight into San Francisco. And I say the Giants go up 3-2 in San Francisco, and then the Giants win in Game 6. So I'm going with the Giants.
Giants in 6.
Giants in 6.
This is so
Boys.
hard because I just don't want to be so wrong like I've been this entire time, you know? Like, I just want one, like, at least in the World Series.
Just
I can,
get
like,
the
if
big
I can
pick
call
in.
this one right, I will, like, excuse myself of all the, like, mishaps I've had.
Is it now going to be
Yes.
the Kurt Sem curse? The Kurt curse?
Kurt curse.
I like it.
Actually, you know what's crazy?
You're passing your curse
Wait,
on.
ready? Watch this. Illuminati. Kurt curse, Kansas City.
That's
So,
true.
I feel like now...
But now,
So
did
now
you
the-
just curse Kansas City, or did you?
Well, I don't know. Now I feel obligated to pick Kansas City.
I mean, things work out that
Actually,
way.
okay, you know what? Okay, I'm going to go Kansas City in 6. And watch them just get swept in, like, 4.
Yeah, I know, right?
That's usually the way.
That's
it
Like,
is.
I really don't want that to happen because it's just they haven't lost the game yet. To get swept in the World Series, that would just be crushing.
That's some
to everybody.
Detroit Tigers level stuff.
Like, I really don't want that to happen.
Okay, Evan.
They
I don't think anybody wants it to happen. I think everybody, except for San Francisco, wants the Royals to win.
Giants do win game 1 with Bumgarner. Bumgarner will win each
You know
time
what's
he
going to
plays.
happen? The Giants are going to lose Game 1. This is what's going to happen.
Maybe that's what we want. Maybe that's why I chose to pick them, so we can all pick them to win game 1.
Maybe we should just stop talking about sports and start talking about real estate
Okay.
or the weather.
The weather is always one of your
One of
specialties.
my yes.
But all right, I'm going Kansas City in 6.
Okay, so you two have Kansas City in 6. I have San Francisco in 6.
See,
All right,
okay,
so now we have to. I should have.
Should we put a little like wager on this?
No.
just to see how wrong
No, I'm
we
We've
all
been
are?
so wrong.
That's why it's fun.
My confidence is shot in my picking abilities for the MLB.
I'll put a penny on it.
I'll put like
I was
imaginary
gonna be-
Monopoly money.
I was gonna be like, well, we have the same thing, so it won't work. But I was like,
I'll
whoever
change
gets it
mine.
right, like whoever is the most wrong,
Has to
Or-
buy dinner.
has to bring in like
Bring some Dunkin' in.
give the other two like a donut.
You know what? Okay, I'll do that.
All right, now
we-
I'll change mine. I'll change mine.
okay.
What are you gonna say now? I'm sorry, folks. I'm sorry. This is so embarrassing. I apologize. We got a bunch of wishy-washy wafflers over here.
Wishy-washy waffle.
Wishy-washy wafflers.
www.
www. That's what world. That's what you put in.
Makes sense now.
They just
It all
tell
makes
people it's the
sense now.
World Wide Web for
Yep.
convenience reasons.
Wishy-washy wafflers.
See, I'm gonna go KC in 7 now. It's gonna go with the distance.
Okay. So timeout.
Just game 7 in Kansas City would be absolutely.
All right, so
yeah.
whoever wins, one person has to get them a coffee, and the other person
Or
has to get them a
whoever's
donut.
the most right.
Yeah, so
So timeout. Let's say San Francisco wins in 7. You had 7 games, so I had San Francisco. I think I should trump that.
yeah.
But he automatically loses.
But he
Yeah,
automatically
so I have
loses.
to
Okay.
get. We both have like one of us has to get you a donut, and the other one has to get you a coffee.
I don't drink coffee.
Oh.
But if you
So
want to
two,
get,
two donuts.
if you, either I would prefer a donut
bagel.
and an iced tea, and not a Dunkin' Donuts iced tea. No offense to Dunkin' Donuts or anything like that. I just like that.
You can
Really-
say it's okay. It's like pure sugar. It's fine.
No.
It's like they're caught. Like they're yeah. It's just
No.
pure.
That's I think it's more natural and probably better for you than like an iced tea out of a gas station.
Oh, I agree.
refrigerator.
Yeah.
So I'm just hooked on that. I have an addicting personality. In case you
No, we went over that.
yes, smoked meat sticks. Call in with your World Series predictions at 718-990-3SJU. That's 718-990-3758. Call in right now. We're going to go to a quick commercial break. We'll bring you back in after this, after the break. But after the break, let's get going talking about the NFL and all the happenings of yesterday and maybe even Thursday night. So don't go away on WSJU Radio, the voice of St. John's University.
So you know that when I die.
Welcome back to the Sports Stop.
Are you ready?
James? Kurt? Evan?
Okay. All right, fellas. Let's go! In the mall at the box city, everyone attack and they turn it to a ballroom blitz. And the girl in the corner said, boy, I want you to turn it to a ballroom blitz. Ballroom blitz.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Sports Stop here on WSJU Radio, the voice of St. John's University. It is 11 o'clock, and it is October 20th. We just talked about our predictions for the MLB World Series, the Fall Classic, the finest of the playoff series in the Major League Baseball realm. So you can call in with your thoughts about the World Series at 718-990-3SJU. That's 718-990-3758. Or you can tweet at us. Yes, we're on the social media stream at SportsStop WSJU on Twitter.
I would just like to add that the Giants in 2011 and 2013 did not even make the playoffs.
I mean, see, it's that.
So they either go big or they just go home.
That's
literally.
right. Yep. They go big or go home.
Like if they can't win it all, they're just like, what's the point, bruh?
They've taken a page out of Tony Hawk's X Games playbook. Either go big or go home.
Dynamite.
Dynamite.
Decent.
Decent, boys. Decent. Kitties. Of course, that's a reference to Trailer Park Boys. If you haven't watched it, then I suggest you do.
God, I'm
You're just
surrounded
a
by
hater.
Trailer Park Boys.
Yeah,
It's so-
ridiculous. By the way, we have some breaking news going around the wire on our social media stream that I am very particularly happy about.
Even
My-
got up and celebrated.
I
a little
did get
bit.
up and celebrate. My main man, Jacob DeGrom, which is, of course, French for of Grom. What?
Thank you for that French lesson.
Jimmy Mitchie's.
Jimmy Mitchie's Nugget. Jimmy Mitch Nugget.
Jimmy Mitch Nugget.
Jacob DeGrom wins the NL Rookie of the Year a well-deserved honor. Ooh. It was probably between him and Billy Hamilton, I believe it was.
I could read the article, but...
I mean, you could. So we're not just assuming. And
all right, let me go read that real quick.
You know, we're supposed to be experts.
We are experts. Kind of.
I'm an expert.
I mean...
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah, keep picking your World Series prediction.
My eyes. Sorry.
Orioles in 5.
I did say that. I said the Orioles would win in 5, and they got swept in 4. So it didn't even go the right number of days.
And just throwing it out, Jose Abreu did get it for the American League. I don't think that was even a competition.
Yeah,
though.
that definitely wasn't. But good for Jose Abreu. Of course, both of them deserved it. Very well deserved. But Jacob deGrom, of course, he's a hometown favorite. Well, not hometown. He's a Met.
Jacob deGrom had 31 votes. Billy Hamilton had 27.
Yeah, so that's actually pretty close.
And then the next couple people are Colton Wong, 9 votes. St. John's alum Joe Panik got 5.
Joe Panik hit a home run, of course, in Game 5 of the NLCS. He's going to the World Series with the San Francisco Giants. Good for him. Congratulations, Joe. Make us proud, bud.
And then the 5th one was a Diamondback, but it wasn't my Rookie of the Year pick. Ender Inciarte, whoever that is. I never even heard of him.
I haven't either.
So my main man, who'd I pick? Mike Olt.
Mike Olt
didn't win the Rookie of the Year.
Finished batting below 200?
I'm pretty sure. He was sent down after batting below 200. I saw in April, like, he was projected, like, he was going towards the trend of hitting, like, 35 home runs and batting, like, 190. So, I was close. So let's get out of the baseball realm. Congratulations again to Jose Abreu and Jacob deGrom. I'm very happy to hear the Mets in the news in October. Let's go to the NFL. Big news coming out of the NFL is Peyton Manning surpassing Brett Favre's record of 508 career touchdown passes. Peyton Manning now has 510. This, of course, coming last night in the Sunday night primetime game. The Broncos going against the 49ers, and the Broncos made the 49ers look silly. I believe the score was 42-10.
They got up to 42?
Yes.
I
mean,
shortly after you stopped watching, I stopped watching. So yes. I know it was not entertaining.
All you have to know is that midway through, like, I think at the beginning of the fourth quarter, Peyton Manning was even on doing the offense for the Broncos. They put
the game was over before it even started.
Yeah,
no Patrick Willis. That just is spelling disaster for the Niners. They're heart and soul of the defense.
Right.
Not even in going against the best quarterback.
Right. I mean, that defense is depleted. Of course, Navarro Bowman, who might miss the year because of the injury.
They don't have Aldon Smith is still out.
Aldon Smith's a terrorist, and he's suspended.
He deserves to be suspended, though. I remember at the beginning of the year, the
49ers. He is an idiot.
Yeah, he's got arrested the last 3 off seasons, and then the 49ers what? He got suspended for 9 games? Yeah, because you can't just. There's rules. You can't just do whatever.
You can't call in a bomb at an airport.
He didn't call it in. He shouted it out.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I think he was drunk and just went to the metal detector and was like, I got a bomb. And then we were like,
okay.
That's really...
You're coming with me.
Yeah, he was like, all right, that was really dumb of you. Thank you.
Well, thanks for the information. I appreciate your honesty. So, yes, that 49ers team is depleted. Jim Harbaugh, I believe his days are numbered.
They should just get rid of him right now. That way the Niners can actually pretend like they actually want to play.
I mean, I think
that's
what they are
weekend.
pretending right now.
And I wanted to bring it up on the show today.
Yep.
If you look at the 49ers situation,
okay,
and it's a very public. Jim Harbaugh players don't get along, and it's more media based. And then you get the Seattle Seahawks, who trade Percy Harvin, and then once after they do it, you hear about he's anger issues, he doesn't click with the team well, and he's just not a good fit for that team.
Right?
They stay out of the media.
Exactly, and that's what I think. I don't know, it's
that's
not
what separates the men from the boys.
Yeah, no, I just think it's a much more professional way of handling a situation.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I don't think it's professional that you dump him, then all this stuff comes out. I don't think that's professional, but I think it's a lot better than having that stuff happen,
especially with your head coach
during the year.
Yeah,
yes, exactly.
The focal part of a team.
Yeah,
the
right.
Head coach, and it's
right. Yes,
everything's just coming out all at once, and it's It's just really shocking, and like it's not even like they're trying to hide it anymore. Everyone knows it.
Yeah, but it just
Even when the
you
GM
can just
or like
tell.
the owner comes out and says, like, even if we win the Super Bowl, we're letting the coach go. Like,
See,
how
they never said
They never said that.
Yeah,
It's
but, like-
it's speculated.
It reports brought out that one of them did say that.
But if it's at that level, it's just like, why go through this entire season? Unless it's like a contract thing.
It probably is a contract.
It definitely is a contract thing, but
Or maybe like save a little face or something like that. Don't burn bridges or things like that. But I mean, Jim Harbaugh, he's a good coach. He brought the Niners to 3 straight championship games. He even brought them to a Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. So,
Too bad he can't win, though.
I mean,
Couldn't win.
you're right.
Couldn't win.
You're right.
Except,
The 49ers are getting penalized a ton.
and stupid ones too.
Stupid penalties.
Personal foul ones that are
and
just
and
so.
I feel like those are just directly related
Yeah,
to
those-
just like
those
the
are-
coach either not like.
Especially when you see Anquan Bolden doing them.
Lack of discipline is a problem.
Yeah, like
and that goes right to
I
the
remember
head guy.
in the game
The head coach.
in their game yesterday in the Broncos, Anquan Bolden was doing like a pick on like a route, and Michael Crabtree scored. Except like Anquan Bolden just sprinted and just like laid out the safety, and they were like, and Chris Collinsworth was just like, like there's a way to do that. And it's not that way. Like you're supposed to go up to the guy
You made
and
it blatantly
stop.
obvious.
Stop, and then like it's not like
Pretend
technically legal to do that, but like you set a pick like a basketball pick, you stand there and you don't really move and just let the guy run into you, and it's like, but he just went up and hit the dude, and then everyone was just like, that was
Obvious.
dumb. Like it was really, really.
And
dumb.
Anquan Bolden's been around. He
He
knows
knows
stuff.
how to do it the
Yeah.
right way.
Yeah, and just-
It's sending a message. All the stupid plays they've been doing, I think it's sending a message.
And like it's even like maybe I think it's different from the Seahawks situation because the Percy Harvin trade actually really surprised me at first before I heard of all the like negative the problems they had with him and or just
But I mean, you could
stuff
see
that. Because like as it showed in the game last against the St. Louis Rams, which was also a defensive issue, and that punt return was ridiculous at that.
Oh.
crazy.
Yeah, okay, we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just that, but like the Seahawks have struggled very much if they're down in a game to score, because Russell Wilson isn't like a Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Aaron Rodgers. Like we're gonna march down the field and score.
I mean, but he did it in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, but they still like
They still lost.
yeah.
But like he
That
did
was-
perform exceptionally well.
I have. If he got the ball back at the end of the game, they would have won.
I don't know.
I would say if they got the ball back, they would have won.
I haven't seen Russell Wilson really do that before, though.
I mean,
Like,
because they
like-
always seem to have
They always have
the
the
lead.
Yeah, exactly. But they're kind
Except the one time they actually did it was the Fail Mary on Monday Night Football. Thank you very much, Commissioner Goodell, and your referees who went on strike.
Oh, that must have killed you.
I did.
Dude, that must have killed you
I was
so
in
badly. That must have-
O'Connor Hall, my dorm room, first floor, 117, room 117. Shout out, respect. Open my window, screaming outside for Roger Goodell to please heed my call and reverse the call, and he did not.
Yeah, no.
That is my biggest beef with Roger Goodell.
Hey, yo, at least, hey,
Personal now.
Diego Maradona had the hand of God, so.
right there. You
Which,
go.
if you don't know about that.
And Messi did it too.
Yeah. Okay, but Diego Maradona did like a semi-final game. Do you know about that, James?
doesn't.
Yes, I believe the hand of God. He painted the Sistine Chapel on the top with God touching the man's hand. That's what you're talking about,
I'm talking about Diego Maradona, who scored a header once.
right? Yeah. Oh, I'm
And he
thinking of
took-
Da Vinci. I apologize.
Michelangelo, but if you're
got me, he got me.
gonna be a smart aleck about
I
it,
got-
get your facts right.
I got the wrong Ninja Turtle.
At least you did say Raphael.
He's a sculptor. I know that. I'm cultured. I'm hip.
I'm
Go ahead.
with it.
What about Diego Maritinelli?
But anyway, Diego Maradona once jumped up in the air, took caught the ball and threw it into the net, but moved his head like and the goalie, and like since it was like the 1980s, there's no like review or anything, and the ref was just like
goal.
That's a goal, and everyone in England's like, no, he caught it and threw it in.
Clearly.
Yeah.
Jordan did.
But
If you look at the picture, it's like a clear, like he's looking at it and just going like,
That's hilarious. Was he a good player?
yeah,
he was like he was the Messi of he's literally like Messi, Argentinian,
back then.
maybe a little bit better.
Oh, okay.
He's
Sounds like he
Messi's
didn't
he's
need his
Messi's
hand
uncle.
there.
I believe he's Messi's uncle.
Sounds like a messy
Right?
situation.
Something like that.
Probably.
He's related to Messi in some way.
Except an awful coach of soccer.
Oh, horrible.
Awful. He has no idea how to tell people how to play soccer.
Let me try that again. Sounds like a messy situation.
Oh,
Zing.
we need like a.
We do. That would be great. So going back to real football, American football.
the one where you don't use your feet.
Exactly. What else happened yesterday? The Panthers got blown out by the Packers.
Happy
so
about
much
that?
I am. So much so that they got knocked off the air. The Rams upset the Seattle Seahawks, and let's talk about
the game
this.
of the day there.
I think so too. Of course, the Rams were home, and last week, of course, they were home against the 49ers, and they went off to a big lead, and then they just sort of
start.
Yes, and then they sort of died down and kind of laid down a little bit. But I think that this week it showed that they got some guts, and they're
and they learned from their mistakes last week.
Yes, and a couple of trick plays.
2 phenomenal trick plays.
All right, the first one, which I think is the better one because I've never seen it happen.
I agree. Yeah.
The punter punts it in the air. The punt goes left. All of the Ram blockers
Went to the other side.
went right, while the one lone, or there's like 2 Rams over on the left. One of them catches it. All the Seahawks are on the right going after the fake catcher, the fake punt returner, and then this punt returner just the one who actually has the ball went scurrying down the sideline.
And the amazing thing about that was he wasn't back there at first to receive the punt.
Right. Yeah.
He was running back and he caught it on a dead sprint.
Yes.
And that's the thing that amazed me.
You could have easily muffed that punt.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's
not like catching a perfect spiral.
Right.
That's kind of like what we said about like Kansas City is that they like manufacture run, like that's manufacturing points. Like you're not Jeff Fisher knows like that's not the first time Jeff Fisher has done something like that. We all know the Tennessee throwback kickoff return,
right?
Which was
the Music City Miracle. Is that what we're talking about? No,
yeah, it wasn't kickoff. The one where the guy throws it like running to the right and then he throws it all the way back.
Yeah,
and then the guy just runs forward.
That was definitely Tennessee.
Yeah, I don't know if it was a kickoff though. But like Jeff Fisher was still the coach.
Yeah.
But anyway, like that's what, and it's funny to me that like on a punt return, you think everyone would watch the ball.
You would think,
but no one does. Everyone just watches the one guy who's going to catch it.
You would at least think that everyone knows like the direction the ball's going to go, like because that way you have to run there. Like your team should have an idea of where to run to.
The players aren't looking at the punter.
Yeah,
they're running downfield. They're not going to be running downfield with their head behind them like that, looking at the punt. So that was a phenomenal.
And also, if you're on the line, you have to make sure that like no one's going to block the punt. Right. So you're all into that, and then.
So I think it is like impossible to see the ball get kicked off.
Well, like I feel like if you do actually look up and see where the ball is, some dude's just going to lay you out at that point, and then.
So you can never do that like that kind of thing in Madden. So.
I know.
Because everyone knows
Madden.
which way the ball should go.
Yeah, but I think it's really fun that like just such a small aspect of just not actually seeing the ball, and like how like even like
it's just it's like David Copperfield illusions out there.
Yeah, I just feel like
hilarious.
No, but I also feel like if the guy would have muffed the punt or anything like that, we would be sitting here being like, that's our dum-dum for the day,
Yes.
But it worked out perfectly.
Speaking of that, stay tuned for the dum-dums coming up in the next segment. But probably the most important special teams trickery play was the last one where
inside their own 20.
Yeah, inside their own 20. It was a fake punt. The punter received the snap and then quarterbacked it, threw it to one of his players, and that got the first down and pretty much sealed the game. Almost didn't because Trey Mason fumbled, and that would have been Very embarrassing. But the
Trey Mason
Rams
picks up the first down on third down that sealed it, and then he
game.
Seahawks have been awful on third down lately.
Seahawks defense hasn't been what it was last year.
Not even close.
Not
I
even
would
close.
say. It's just,
Just the way she goes sometimes.
And Richard Sherman's not talking. What a coincidence.
It's true. But yes,
very quiet.
they're
Someone's eating too many Campbell's Chunky Soup commercials. That's what happened to Clay Matthews. Did too many Campbell's Soup commercials.
got too chunky.
Got too chunky. Obviously, let's look at this. Donovan McNabb declined as soon as he decided with chunky.
Right? It hurts, Evan. It hurts.
It does. It does. Oh, God, McNabb. That's where you went wrong.
The chunky Campbell's.
They always use their moms.
That's true.
Always
Absolutely,
their mom.
Always.
I mean,
Mama McNabb.
Mama makes the chunky noodle soup.
Even though it comes from
A can.
Yeah, like
Thank you, Campbell's.
brought to you by Campbell's Soup. But
Good.
I think a more important game, which actually comes from the 49ers, and the biggest winners from those games were the Arizona Cardinals, who are now 5-1, and now I want to say have a 2-game lead.
They definitely have a 2-game
a
lead.
Yes.
2-game lead on that NFC West,
Cardinals beat
which
the Raiders
no
yesterday.
one saw.
But
Right.
did the Cardinals play the Niners and Seattle yet?
No.
Or Seattle?
No, they beat.
They haven't played them yet.
No.
That's huge.
That is huge. A couple good teams that they did beat they won against the Chargers on opening night.
Yeah.
And
And that was with a
Giants.
banged up Ellington. And now
Yeah.
Ellington's healthy. I mean, on
Carson Palmer's
Carson
Palmer's
back,
playing.
yeah.
He's 8-2 in his last 10 games.
and he's not even really using Fitzgerald that much. He's throwing to
Yeah.
Floyd more.
Yeah, well,
that's right.
Floyd's becoming the number one receiver on the team because I think we're starting to see Larry Fitzgerald kind of leave that realm of like top 3 receivers in the NFL
But at the
to
same time,
maybe
he's
being
still
like
top.
top 10. You know, like
Yeah.
I'm just saying, that, like he is
It's
not.
just that he doesn't have the numbers because
Because they're double covering. And
right.
I mean, you see there's a lot more weapons there now, like in the sense of Ellington coming out of the backfield, Floyd really developing behind Fitzgerald, and now coming into his own, really, being a downfield threat more, still being able to run the short and intermediate routes, and John Brown, their slot guy, has been good for them this
That's
year.
true. Yep.
Like he's, what is he, 5'9" or something like that? And
He's not a big dude. He's not
he's
a big
not.
dude.
He's not a big guy, but he's fast and he's really coming into his own. As a rookie, I think he is,
So this Cardinals team, they've got some talent.
and they're doing it without really their defense from last year, without their leader on the defensive side, Dockett, out for the year.
He's been hurt. He's been.
Well,
out
I mean,
for the
he's
year.
been on the sidelines, like motivating them, I'm sure,
Right,
but
yeah.
it's not the same without him in there.
Hey, when do the Cowboys play the Eagles?
They play them. I think the first time they play them is Thanksgiving.
Of
They
course.
play them
That's-
Thanksgiving, and then they play
That's
another
like the
team
next game I want to see in the NFL. Like
Thanksgiving Day.
Like
I
the
cannot
first
wait.
game I was really excited about were the Seahawks Cowboys game, and that lived up to the hype. And now the next one I want to see is the Eagles Cowboys game because I don't know, it's going to be interesting to see.
It's going to be
It's
rocking
looking
in my
like
house.
it's looking like the boys are the real deal.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
Cowboys are 6-1, tied atop the NFC East.
Like you can't even debate it. I mean, look at the teams they knocked off.
And the fact that
It's true.
DeMarco Murray has had 100 yards in every single game he's played this season is just.
I mean that's the key. They're
Yeah,
not letting
he
Romo
has-
throw the ball.
Yeah,
that much.
he has to be the MVP if they're like season.
So far,
I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure
he has to
I'm pretty
be.
sure he's getting 20+ touches every single
I
game.
think so.
He
too.
is,
Of course,
but he's
that's-
producing, which is like
Exactly.
not the problem. Like teams would love to get every team in the NFL. Can you imagine if you told Rex Ryan you could run the ball with Chris Ivory and Chris Johnson at least 20 times? They can't even run it like 15 yards. Like they just don't.
That's true.
They don't understand that concept. Everyone thinks, oh, this is just a strictly passing league now, that everyone forgets about the run.
Right.
The run sets everything up, though.
Yeah,
It controls the clock.
Yeah.
It sets you up for the play-action pass, which is probably the most deadly play in football. You could even do a little bit of trickery, like we saw on the Panthers try yesterday with the nice
The
little
flea
flea
flicker.
flicker.
Yeah.
Going back to my backyard football days on the computer.
The flea flicker.
You remember Backyard
Yeah,
Sports?
yeah, yeah.
Flea
No, I
flicker,
got
and then
that.
you throw it to Pablo.
Humongous entertainment.
No, but
Fantastic.
yeah, I feel like we do all focus on like the offense and passing, and then what we all kind of forget is like the defense and running, and like the old school methods of football really do come out to play.
Yeah.
Like you still need to do the other things too, like in basketball the equivalent is like the 3-point shot. Like
Right.
to win in the NBA, you do need to shoot threes, but you can't only shoot threes.
Right.
You know,
you
you
gotta
still
be
have
good
you have
post.
to be a balanced.
Yeah, you got to be an aggressive team in the paint and things like that.
Yeah, and have
As
good
well.
And I just think in football today is there's too many people try and focus on like the Washington Redskins put way too much effort into like loading up that passing defense. Except now they're in the position where like Kirk Cousins can't even throw them the ball. And like Colt McCoy, we're all saying like he's probably going to start or whatever next couple weeks or maybe not. But I feel like what's going to happen with Colt McCoy is the same thing that happens every year with Colt McCoy. First 2 games he comes out really good, and then defensive coordinators finally are like, all right, let's plan for him.
Former
And
Brown
then-
great.
For a Brown great, which means you led him to like 3 wins.
That's true.
And then but that's what happens with backup quarterbacks. They come in, they do really well because
Except
one
there's one exception.
Because you don't have to. I already know what you're going to
Yeah,
say.
because
Hold
like
that
Tom
thought,
Brady
because I
and,
know
like,
you want to talk about him.
No,
I know you want to talk about him so much.
I do. I've been yearning for this moment.
See, now I forget what I was going to say.
Kyle Orton. Kyle Orton is the most successful backup quarterback in this league.
We had this discussion yesterday.
He knows how to win games. Did you see his last-second touchdown to Sammy Watkins yesterday?
Okay, but let's look who he's giving the ball to, Sammy Watkins. Like,
Okay.
okay,
But he's
Without-
been doing it
he's
throughout his
without-
career.
yeah,
now.
he's a
C.J.
backup.
Spiller.
Yeah, he's
and
the best backup quarterback.
yeah.
backup quarterback in the league right now.
Okay, I'll give you that, but like what
Kyle
happens
Orton.
when he started? They were 8-0. The Broncos were 8-0, and then they finished 8-8 and they made the playoffs. That's what I'm saying. When Kyle Orton was the star of the team, that's what happened.
Listen,
I'm not saying Kyle Orton is a good backup quarterback.
if you have a backup quarterback starting for you, then you're probably not going to make the playoffs.
No,
if your backup quarterback makes you 8-8, he's a good backup quarterback. Look
when
at
you
Jeff
start
Garcia.
8-0, when you start 8-0,
They didn't start 8-0.
They-
no, that year the Broncos with Kyle Orton, they started 8-0, and then they lost their last 8.
It is what it is. The magic ran out.
Just
now
Mark-
it's
I mean,
back.
because
Ben's back in
a backup
Buffalo,
quarterback is
boys.
only as good for as long as how long do you really think a backup quarterback can start and be successful until?
no, I think it lasts
As long
like
as
2 and 3
Kyle
games.
Orton's career.
Dude, no, Doug Flutie.
Because I mean, you don't get, he never.
No one will ever be a backup quarterback than Doug Flutie, who not only
Of course, we're ignoring Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Steve Young.
no,
We're
but those are
ignoring
not they're not backup quarter. We're talking about pure like guys
Pure
who like can
backups.
only back up. Like Matt Castle, perfect example. Someone who everyone's tried to make him a starter, but he's just not. He's a backup.
backup.
He was a backup. Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Plus, he was in a good system with the Patriots when
Yeah,
he
right.
back up.
and then you saw what happens when he left.
Yeah, right. Or like Matt Flynn, perfect example too.
Oh,
Matt
the
Flynn.
prodigal son of Green Bay.
Yeah, right. Matt Flynn. Everyone was like, "Oh, Matt Flynn
There's
is."
a sighting of Flynn in the game.
Yep.
Yeah, that's all I ever heard about it. Then he went to Seattle, and then they were like, "We're gonna get
LOL, Russell Wilson.
yeah, and now I don't know what he's
Didn't
doing.
he go
now.
to Raiders too?
He's with the Packers.
Yeah, he's back.
Yeah, he's back with the Packers. He's back where he's successful.
But C is at the end of it.
At the end of the day, you gotta be happy.
Very true.
Yep. So, 11:25 here on the 25th, not the 25th, the 20th of
Let's
October.
get 5 days ahead. Come on.
I'm sorry.
It's a full week.
Although I would like the weekend again.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
I would too.
maybe skip through. Yeah. Let's
Do it. Do it.
Fast forward.
No, listen. My days are numbered here at St. John's.
That is very true.
Oh,
Yeah.
single tear. Just
one.
Just a single one. So yes, the NFL had some big news yesterday. Again, congratulations to Peyton Manning on surpassing Brett Favre's record. I didn't think I was ready, but I kind of handled it well.
You did handle it well,
I think I handled it.
especially since it wasn't to Julius Thomas.
Yes, I'm facing Julius Thomas in a big fantasy football matchup. I'm trying to come back And if I win, he's got Aaron Foster playing tonight, and I've got the Texans defense. I'm currently winning. I'm projected to win 96 to.
Projections mean nothing.
I know projections do mean nothing.
You're supposed to win by 1, right?
I was supposed to. Yes, I was supposed to win by 1. Yesterday, before the Broncos game, it was 97-96. Now I'm projected to win 96 to 88.
Ooh.
Still very close. Thank you, Julius Thomas, for only getting 2 points.
So you got 6 of my.
I'm sure he really tried to do that
Listen,
too. I'm sure he's like, I can't let my boy James down. I'm not going to score. Peyton, just don't give me the ball tonight.
He dropped that touchdown pass.
Yes, he did.
He did drop that touchdown pass.
And he's like, that's for you, James. I read his lips as he pointed at the camera and then signed his name like a tennis player on the camera. But of course, I love Julius Thomas. I love fantastic tight ends. And
he can only touchdown. He can only catch touchdown passes, though.
That's true.
That's what it seems like.
And I hope next week he catches 3. All right, so we're going to go to a commercial break here. Next segment's going to consist of the Dum-Dums. We'll talk about the tip-off. Of course, that happened on Friday. Evan and I worked it. I got to meet a very special guest. So, and you don't want to go away for that. So stick around on the SportsStop here on WSJU Radio, the voice of St. John's University.
Welcome back to the Sports Stop.
Welcome back to the Sports Stop here on WSJU Radio, the voice of St. John's University. It is 11:32 on October 20th. It is cold outside, but you know it's October 20th. You got the leaves falling out there. Evan told me that it was 38 degrees when he woke up. A little bit of a chill in the air, but of course, an October chill means one thing, and that means autumn is in the air. It's a beautiful time of year, obviously. It's one of the... Unless you know... from like Tampa or LA, you're missing out on the beautiful colors that you can see through your opticals of the trees.
The seasons alone.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, winter. Of course, if you all know me or all listen to the show, I constantly complain about the cold. So me and the cold, we don't really mesh. But I can't help but embrace the beauty of the outdoors. Just call me Nature Man.
I was waiting. I was like, I wonder what he's gonna say.
I wanted to think of something better, but I was wondering if that guy from the Dr. Pepper 10 commercials. Do you know what I'm talking about? He's like outside and he's walking around and he's like, nowhere, no place is like nowhere place to me. With a man running wild and free with 10 calories. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah.
Yeah, like the most amount. Yeah.
Brought to you by, of course, Dr. Pepper 10. I won't say their slogan because it's kind of bad, if you guys remember. All right, but it's 11:34. We only have less than a half an hour left, so we should, get going. So I suggest that we have a little fun, and let's do the Dum-Dums.
What were you thinking? It's time for the Dum-Dums.
That's right. It is time for the Dum-Dums, ladies and gentlemen. Some of our one of our most favorite parts of our show, one of our fun segments, and a couple of Dum-Dums went around the league, went around the sports world this past week. We also have. I will allow 2 weeks because we haven't had a show in 2 weeks. So, I mean, that opens up for more possibilities. So, Kurt, do you have a dum-dum?
I do. Mine goes to the Oakland Raider fans who had to endure Daryl Dockett at the end of the game putting up a sign that says Raiders 0-6 and just pointing at him and just...
That was my backup.
Yeah. And I just...
So I can really mess things up for you.
I mean, you can because I have another one.
I feel bad for But if you're the Raiders, the dumb thing is that like it's really just the Oakland Raiders. Just like the fans just have to watch that team play and just go out there and try to put up.
Listen,
Try to pretend.
Yeah, they try to pretend like they're a football team.
ooh, that's kind of that's
They have
James Jones.
James Jones. You better watch yourself. James Jones.
Oh,
He was
okay.
also featured in our Dum Dums before with the double fumble. James Jones. So who's the Dum Dum going to?
Just Oakland.
Yeah, just that's Oakland Raiders in general.
Oakland Raiders. Sorry about that. But you get the Dum Dums. All right, Evan, who's your Dum Dum of the week?
All right, my dum-dum goes to Giordano Ventura.
Your Donald Ventura star rookie who's pitching in the World Series now for the Kansas City Royals. What happened?
Well, I was scrolling through the Twitter yesterday, and I stumbled across a picture of him wearing a bunny suit, a pink bunny suit.
Like a Playboy bunny suit or like a Ralphie from A Christmas Story bunny suit? Have you never seen The Christmas Story?
I know what you're talking about. I was just more surprised with the
He looks like
with the know your jump from bunny to bunny. That was what I was more like. What? That was my focus of it.
when you're gonna jump, you better jump to extreme.
Yeah, you're right. Like it was really like, wow, that was so innocent to so like
Well, it's
not
not
innocent.
the Playboy bunny suit.
Okay, so it was more like Ralphie.
Yes.
Have you seen?
No.
You haven't?
I don't think so.
Okay, well, it's just a guy in a bunny. Like, imagine a bunny suit
Yeah.
that's like innocent. And that's
The one that Giordano had on.
He looks like a pink nightmare. How have you never seen that? I want
sorry.
you. Have you ever seen It's a Wonderful Life?
Yes.
Good. After you watch It's a Wonderful Life this Christmas or this holiday season, I want you to watch A Christmas Story.
Christmas Story?
Yes,
All right, I
it's a
gotcha.
classic.
I gotcha.
It's on 24 hours on TBS during Christmas. You can't miss it.
that and Elf.
That and Elf.
I watch Elf a lot.
I mean, I do too.
Elf is a great movie.
Yes. But yes, if you want to, I suggest that you tweet out the picture of Giordano Ventura
Yeah,
in
I'm
his
looking for
pink
it.
nightmare
I
suit.
can't remember.
He looks like a pink
MLB
nightmare.
Fan Cave, I think.
Yes, it was MLB Fan Cave. I remember it. So, Giordano Ventura. What was it, like a Halloween thing, or was he just...
I don't...
Was it like a free love type of thing?
I gotta find it. So,
All right.
but so my dum dum goes out to Giordano Ventura.
Giordano Ventura, dum-dums. All right, I just remembered a dum-dum that I think is better than my original dum-dum, so I'm going to say this one instead. Of course, we had our tip-off here on Friday night. Well, that was the same night that Kentucky had their Midnight Madness. Now, with Kentucky's Midnight Madness, Kentucky is a phenomenal basketball program. They have stars. I mean, their coach is a star. Their players are stars. So, it's a very important thing for the college. So, and who made an appearance? None other than the famous rapper Drake, who can also be found repping the Toronto Raptors, the LA Lakers, the New York Knicks. You can go on and on and on. Forever.
That's the next.
I'm sure...
In Toronto.
What?
Nothing.
No, doesn't he? He's from Toronto.
Yeah. He
Doesn't like the Raptors?
Oh, but you said Knicks too.
Oh, what? He's not a Knick guy?
I don't know.
I was just naming big city
He's
things.
a Heat guy, but now I think he's going to be a Cleveland guy.
He's going to be a Cleveland guy now, definitely.
Oh, he's a LeBron guy.
Yeah.
All I know is that I've seen him at so many different things,
Yeah.
wearing totally different things. So I don't know what kind of guy he is.
Where his allegiance
He,
lies.
you know what he is? A wishy-washy waffler. Anyway, he was at Kentucky at the Midnight Madness, making a fantastic showing, and he showed off his basketball skills by shooting an air ball in front of all those fans and on television. So, Drake, sorry, bud. You're my dum-dum.
I think it was funny because I remember like the commentator who was like covering it. They were like just talking about something, and then he was just like, "Well, I think Kentucky really needs to and Drake just fails to hit the rim. And then they just went back to and it was just the way he said it. It was like, fails to even hit rim. And I was just like, wow. Like, come on. And then, like, everyone on Kentucky's just like, dang, like, come on. That's your worst fear. That's like the first pitch thing.
Yeah.
Like the first pitch fear of going out there and 50-centing it, or, just going out there and just...
Like, at least, like...
Get it to the catcher.
Right.
Or just accurate to the catcher, maybe a one bounce, maybe.
Or it's like, accidentally walking to class without pants on.
I don't know. I feel like it's easier to throw a bad first pitch than to walk into a class without your pants on. That's me. But
some of us are forgetful.
But like, not now.
Or just
now,
some of us don't want to wear pants.
Now it's just way too cold.
Once we get to the class.
I don't like where this is going.
Well, maybe in like spring or like September, but like now you leave the house without pants, you're like, dang.
Yeah, you know right
Yeah,
away.
you're like,
Yeah, I know,
don't have
that's
pants
true.
on.
But I mean, I never specified the season. I'm not saying today. I mean, you're not throwing the first pitch. You're throwing the first pitch in summer. I'm not going to say, well, you wouldn't be throwing the first pitch in winter.
What if you threw the first pitch out without any pants on?
That would be
Boom.
Double forgetful.
double nightmare, and I don't know. You will never be forgotten. Just like Carly Rae Jepsen's pitch in Tampa Bay.
Just like a lot of first pitches.
Yes, 50 Cent. He's looking at you, Fitty.
Obama had a decent one though.
Oh, best one I've ever seen was George W. Bush, 2001 World Series, Game 3.
Date.
That was honestly...
You know, like a week before.
He looked like Greg Maddux.
You know, for a week before that, he was just like, when am I giving that first pitch out?
No,
right.
he was practicing beneath the Yankee Stadium right before, and Derek Jeter told him, don't bounce it.
It's good advice.
I mean, it's the best advice you can get. Call in 718-9903-SJU. That's 718-990-3758. Let's talk a little bit about St. John's basketball. Of course, the tip-off event was this past Friday. WSJU was there. French Montana was there. A lot of fun going around. We got the dunk contest, the introductions. Someone won an iPad by doing the
half-court shot.
Yeah, by doing the what was it? Free throw, 3-point half court.
And he swished the
half court.
The half court. That was awesome.
It was. I
was not expecting that at all.
Yeah, it was a phenomenal shot.
He got on his second try.
Too bad he wasn't. Up for the Camaro.
Yeah.
Of course, the Camaro's still out there. Burrito eating contest. That's my personal favorite.
Of course it is.
I just love burritos and I love eating. And I love contests. So what's wrong with a burrito eating contest?
You need to get signed up for that.
I do, but I worked it. I was in the yellow. I think it'd be unprofessional.
You could do it.
I think it'd be unprofessional if I walked out there in a yellow shirt, event staff. Yeah, I'm the guy who's directing you to the seat. Now move away. I got to eat my burrito. But yes, a couple of scrimmages with the men's and women's basketball shooting contest. It was a fantastic night. French, of course, topped off with French Montana, and he put on a show, which was decent. No, it was really good.
Oh, it was good. He put on a good performance.
Really good. Yeah, it was really good. But the special guest that I saw there
happened to sit in your section.
So I'm event staff. So if you see me,
pretty high up in the carne seca arena.
Yeah, pretty high up there.
Yeah.
So if you see me, don't be shy to say, "Hey, your show, it's all right." But yeah, I was in section 6. Turning people away that didn't have tickets, and then these two people came up to me and were looking to sit in my section or whatever. I asked them for a ticket, and then the guy just smiled at me, laughed, and shook my hand. Of course, I knew it was the president of the university and his wife. Of course, I knew that. I was just joking. It was my breaking the ice of, hey, it's the president. So yeah, it was really funny because the president, he was standing next to me. He wasn't sitting down, but he was standing next to me, and his wife was standing next to me. In my section, we had the press chairs and things like that, but nobody was sitting in one of them, so he brought it down for his wife to sit in. And then so his wife is kind of like, she's fully blocking the aisle, but like she's in the aisle. And then one of the my supervisors came over and just kind of gave me a look and kind of like pointed to where I was like, you know what? I think they're allowed to do this.
Pretty sure they're allowed to do this.
I'm not gonna tell them not to do this.
I'm not going to be that guy.
Yes, exactly.
I'm not going to be
And
that
so,
guy.
you know, I was schmoozing the president and and Mrs. President of St. John's University. It was phenomenal.
Does she become the first lady of St. John's?
I would assume so. I mean,
Because it's
who
not
would
like, it's not
be?
like the president where, like, you get... It's just
I mean,
like
I don't
the
think she's
president-
gonna like start some sort of like exercise program or eat healthy movement, but I mean, she's St. John's first lady, I would assume. At least that's what I would as I didn't call her that, but I was I was under the impression of that. So yeah, I got to meet the president and Mrs. President, and I thought that was really cool. But I mean, it wasn't cooler than French Montana, I'll tell you that much, or the tip-off itself. D'Angelo Harrison taking video of the crowd. I thought that was really cool. You know, just get the crowd involved. That's what it's all about. It's a giant pep rally. Let's not let's not mistake this. This
It's
is a
just
giant
like
pep
it's just
rally.
a college-funded prep rally.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like,
And it's a lot of fun. Pep rallies are fun. Not my high school ones. They were kind of lame.
because you're like, it's not really... At the end of the day, it's just high school sports.
Exactly. But you know, this is what we're. It's just what St. John's is. We are New York's basketball team, and we're looking forward to the season. Of course, we'll be talking about it each Monday to an extent.
How do you see this year's Big East playing out?
Evan,
Pass it right on off. You don't want to. You don't want to comment.
I've been talking
no
for so
research?
long, and you've been silent. I just want to get you involved.
All
buddy.
right. All right.
And
well,
no, I did not do my research.
I didn't do my research either. So, I think, but
We have
honestly,
a solid core of
yeah,
players.
exactly. We have a real solid senior core
Yes.
that really can lead this team. And like Lavin was saying at the pep rally,
Tip-off.
tip off. My apologies. You
Yes.
got me saying pep rally.
I know. I don't. I want to make sure that it's not like an offensive term. Like it's not like it's not demeaning towards the tip off.
Gotcha. But
I
like
just want to
Lavin,
emphasize that
like Lavin was saying, like they have improved each year,
they have.
and we brought in some new people this year.
How about De La Rosa?
Yeah, exactly. De La Rosa. I mean, he's a big guy.
there,
He's
Kurt?
gonna.
I was not
You
there.
weren't all right. So De La Rosa, I think he's listed at 7 foot. He's huge, dude.
Like he's a
And
big guy. He's a post player.
He's a big guy.
Yeah.
He's
Like-
a big guy.
Big physical guy. He's going to be grabbing all the rebounds, protecting the rim, along with
He's an intimidating
Oblakpa.
force. He's an intimidating
he is.
force.
No, I think they definitely, if you look at like Opepka in the middle, if he can get that offensive game, which has always been his big question, Rasheed Jordan, I think, has to step up as
I
the
think
best
he
player.
will.
He's the best player
I think
on the
he will,
team.
yep.
Most overall, like
I
guaranteed
think
the most.
it's D'Angelo's team still, though.
Yeah, I know.
Absolutely.
He's definitely the leader,
But-
and is going to be the guy who takes the last second shot.
Oh,
Except he's not the most
He
talented.
He
person
doesn't
on
need
that
to
team.
take that last second shot. He's got the tools around him in Rasheed Jordan
Yeah.
that can.
Except I feel like Rasheed Jordan is going to have to be
I still want the ball
more
on
of a
D'Angelo.
playmaker than D'Angelo because
Oh yeah,
D'Angelo is not. He's a shooter. That's what
he's
that's
a 2 player. He plays the 2, and he showed he's good at it. I mean, he's got over 1,000 points at St. John's. So I mean,
he's what, 10th on the all-time scoring list? He's either 10th or in the top 10.
Yeah,
He's in the top 10.
He's in the top 10.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's going to be a real interesting year. I mean, like I said, a lot of senior presence there. They've been around the block. They've been
Phil
improving
Green.
each year. Phil Green only had 15 turnovers last year, which was amazing in itself.
Yep.
So we can protect the ball with him. She has another year under his belt. So
And I feel like if you look at the rest of the Big East, you're gonna get. I think ESPN had him at 4th. They put him at 4th in the Big East, and then obviously you have Nova number 1, Georgetown.
Nova's ranked high too.
Yeah.
But then teams like Creighton's not.
Creighton lost McDermott,
Yep.
and that was their big guy.
Yeah,
really.
that was the lot
So,
of
I
their
mean,
team.
with all this ranking,
It doesn't really
crap.
matter.
It
you're
doesn't
right.
mean anything right now, but
Yeah,
I think
it's all
Nova.
on
I think
paper.
Nova is for real.
yeah, Nova is definitely for real.
Because I mean, just like St. John's, they have a good core group that's coming back.
Yes.
So, I mean...
And Georgetown, of course, is always up there. They're always pretty good. But, I mean, you play to win the game, as to quote Herm Edwards. So, we're going to be...
Play to win the game.
We're going to be... You play to win the game. So, we're going to be paying close attention to this season, this basketball season, at least for the first half. Because, of course, the basketball season, I want to say the bulk of it is...
well, the big games are.
Yeah, after winter break.
Yeah, all the
Big
ones
the
that
Big
like
East
matter
starts.
and like you actually see what like they can do and stuff. I don't know. It's gonna be a fun basketball year. A lot of people. It's a lot of. I think last year there's less questions about the team because this year we lost people like Jakar and just like there's
Orlando.
There's a big upside, but there's also a big downside too.
It's.
I mean, but that's college sports.
Yeah.
You can't really do much about it.
Like I'm really hoping that they're going to really show up. I mean, they absolutely want it. They don't want to. I mean, they developed so far. You got to take it that next step and try and really make a big run in the tournament.
I think everyone
Yeah,
needs
sure.
that for their.
I mean,
I think the team,
the team's hungry for it. It seems like
Steve
it.
Lavin really needs that too. He hasn't since he's come to St. John's.
I mean,
They've
he's
made the
got-
tournament, but he hasn't really,
Yeah,
like consistency. has
he
been
needs
his
to
big issue.
he needs to take that next step. Really,
Exactly.
And how long has he been there? 4 years or 3 or 4 years?
4 or 5.
Yeah, so he still has like D'Angelo was his like
His recruit.
his
Yeah.
recruit, and like I feel like now it's all him, and he's kind of established a home in at St. John's.
Yeah,
and now
absolutely.
it's just.
Now
Which he's done a pretty good job developing a team for, if you consider how small
started, yeah.
how small our school
Oh, yeah.
is in comparison to a Kentucky or U of A, who are number 1 and 2.
University of Albany. No, I'm only kidding.
I know.
I'm only kidding.
But if you look at schools like that who do have the lure of, Kentucky, the lure of just that Kentucky campus and that just Kentucky name, and you can be like John Wall came here.
Oh, yeah.
And that look I think that's very impressive to be a team like St. John's coming from a broken Big East and still to be a decent we could go
the Big East is definitely developing again.
yeah
Right.
But
Yeah.
it's not where it once was though.
Oh
Absolutely
no, not at all.
I'm not sure if it will ever get there, but
I agree. I don't think it will ever get there, but it's certainly developing into a good conference.
into a good conference. Yeah.
Well, what happened in the 80s Big East is that it was
Stacked.
a blood but also people would beat up it was very
Yeah.
physical, and that's what
It was
the
for
thing,
the fans.
It was-
Yeah, for the
that's when
fans.
basketball was
and people like Patrick Ewing and Chris Mullen used to go up at each other and be like, "Let's go," And now in the
Get
Big
fired
East,
up.
there's no. But to be fair to them,
Just basketball in general
the
is
Big
not like
East
that.
the Big East basketball conference is just kind of like the. It's great, it's just thrown together because they
Yeah, it
needed to
kind of looks
have,
like that. Yeah.
but I feel like now it's just creating your new identity. But they still have strong cores like Villanova and Georgetown. Will always, I feel like no matter
even
will
St.
always,
John's is a good name.
Yeah. St. John's has a history
And,
to
like,
it.
yeah, and just all those schools and Marquette too, and
Yeah.
even if you look at a school like Providence really surprised some people last year, and we can see if they can build
Bryce
on that.
Cotton.
Speaking of U of A, of course I said University of Albany, and you guys got a scoff, but they made the tournament last year. Don't you forget it.
Yes, they did.
More
All
than
right, we
more
talked
than what-
about them.
More than what we can say here about last year.
Ooh.
Just saying.
Well, that's
You guys scoffed at me. Don't you diss upstate New York.
I'm pretty sure St. John's was in that. That we would make the tournament too.
I don't know. We did lose to Robert Morris.
Yeah.
Yeah, at that point, I don't think we really care.
The NIT is literally the
Hang on, that's a problem, though. That was a
but
problem. I had a huge
everyone
problem with that NIT.
Yeah, and I agree. I did too.
It's a waste. It's a waste of time.
I understand this, and of course, it's a way for schools to make money and the NCAA to make money for this NIT thing.
And for us.
Yeah, schools. But you're in it. You're number 1 seed. Don't get embarrassed.
Especially at home.
Yeah.
At home.
They didn't
Where it
even
was
try.
just
They
a
literally
they
did. Like
didn't
if you
try
looked,
it,
they tried. They
sadly.
played the Max. They started Max Hooper. They they did all this stuff that was just kind of just like, we're not quitting. We're
Like,
just
even-
not play. We're not playing to our full
and
ability.
I didn't
Like-
like that.
NIT
Me
is not.
either. I thought that was very
And I thought that was my biggest problem with the Lavin. It just looked like they gave up.
Yeah.
And I don't like.
even from the beginning. It was just
Yeah.
like I don't really.
Like-
It's the NIT. Like even if we win this whole thing, we'll get
NIT
to be
was
like-
once the tournament to be.
Yeah.
Now
Exactly.
it doesn't have that
No.
name anymore.
Right,
but
it's still a tournament.
it's still a
and you're
major
in it.
tournament. Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta.
something.
I think
still make
yeah.
the school some money and still get like.
Still like.
Hey, it was
You gotta-
embarrassing. We were the only one
And I-
seed that got knocked out of the whole thing.
And I
Yeah,
and I
I mean,
definitely
it came
feel
in the first round.
I definitely feel like they're kind of realizing that now, and they're really hungry this year.
I
so
hope so.
hopefully, I mean, use that as motivation for this year. You know,
I
Like,
hope so.
You don't. You
just
can't
don't go back
do
to
that
it.
again. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, 11:55 here. We got 5 minutes left. Halloween's coming up, guys.
Yes, it is.
Of course, we're gonna have another show before Halloween, but yeah, October's moving on pretty quickly. We got the World Series that we talked about. We just talked about the NFL. Oh, Monday Night Football, Steelers Texans. I believe it's in Pittsburgh.
Steelers suck.
Oh.
As a Ravens fan, I would like
Okay.
to.
Oh.
I'd like to. I'd like to interject that.
The
So I guess you're
views
with
of
the
Kurt
Texans.
Sem.
Yeah, I am Texan. Go Texans.
Personal
Right.
views of Kurt Sem do not represent the personal views of sports. The sports.
Oh my God, you did it again. That's 2 times.
Listen,
Wow.
it's a
Wow,
manic Monday.
Wish
That-
it was Sunday.
man,
Because
you
that's
are,
my fun day, dude.
I understand. But yes,
2 times today. Come on,
listen,
come on,
Come
on, man.
I'm in my twilight years of college radio. I'm going through like Alzheimer's. You know what the twilight years of in age, you're way up there. Yeah, I'm going through like my college radio Alzheimer's. So I'm sorry if I'm a little confused. You can't blame me for liking my first show and referencing it.
Noise.
I'll put another
no
quarter in the jar. Fine.
There you go. You were doing so well for a while.
I did super well. What was it? We started this last semester. It took me like a good 2 months.
Yes,
And then that final month I was good. And then
you
this
slipped.
first
You slipped
month-
a few times early,
Right.
and then you got back to it.
Yep.
And now you're slipping bad today.
And, you know, I'm old. And
Like
confused.
usually it's just once a show.
I'm old and confused.
Old and confused.
The old age of like 20.
Yeah, the twilight of college radio years. So yeah, it is going to be Pittsburgh and Houston. Of course, Kurt has Houston because of that outlandish blasphemy that he just shared across
Oh,
our
sorry. I
airwaves.
didn't know you guys were such huge Steelers fans.
I hate the Steelers.
Yeah, right. Okay. So
I'm an Eagles fan, so
Yeah,
I'm not
right.
going to like another Philadelphia
A lot
or
of
a
people
Pennsylvania
hate the
team.
Steelers and things like that. I get it.
But I'm still rooting for them tonight because Antonio Brown.
See, and this is
See,
what I
I mean-
don't like about fantasy sports.
yeah,
I root-
just like at the end of the day, it's like
At the end of the day, you're just like being very selfish.
Yeah.
like you're just rooting for one player.
Yes, I am.
Like I had Cam Newton yesterday going against the Packers. I was happy that he didn't do well. I was
Yeah.
happy that they lost.
Hey, you can,
But I did want him to throw a touchdown or two after we got
And-
up by a big margin.
and he did.
I mean, but going into the game, I was like, nope, you can get shut out. Until we go up, and then you can score a touchdown.
and then you'll get the few points I need.
That's right. And he,
That's how you play it out.
I needed a little bit more than a few points.
Some people
Personally.
actually never use. I know some people with fantasy teams that never start people who are going against their teams.
Yes, I do know that too.
I don't draft people.
And also, I'm in a
No Eagles.
league where a lot of people draft and play their favorite players,
Yeah.
and that kind of stinks for the Jets fans in that league. I have Ivory, and I'm trying to trade him so badly because I know that people want him because they watch him daily.
Shout out to Geno Smith, who actually had his first game without throwing a pick and played really well against the New England Patriots.
That's true, and the Jets usually play well against the New England Patriots. It's just,
Percy Harvin.
and they
Yeah,
do
right.
now have Percy Harvin. It's going to be interesting to see what we didn't even talk about that trade. It's
Yeah.
going to be interesting to see how that works out.
He's taking Brad Smith's old number, 16.
I mean, that makes sense because he is Brad Smith.
Yes,
That's what he
he
is.
just can't. He just can't throw.
Yeah, he just can't throw. I think
But he's gonna be in all those kind of situations.
Yeah,
it's
but
gonna
I
be
mean-
fun.
it's going to be interesting to see. But you know who else is like Percy Harvin? Dexter McCluster. Like, he does the same exact things.
Except for Percy.
Yeah,
I would rank
except
Percy ahead of him.
Harvin is
I would
I would rank
the
Percy
best
ahead of him
athletes
too, but
in
still.
the NFL.
All right, we're gonna go. You know.
Yeah, time's up. Time's up.
Yeah, it's noon o'clock here. Thanks for listening to the Sports Stop here on WSJU Radio, the voice of St. John's University. We'll talk more about Percy Harvin, see how he does next week with the Jets. It's going to be fun to watch. It's going to be interesting to see. I just hope that the Jets aren't, Jets fans aren't getting their hopes up like they usually do. Because, you are 1-6. All right, so for
That's how you're gonna end the show.
That's
just,
how we're
just
gonna
a
end it.
solid Jets are 1-6.
a solid zinger.
Yeah.
The last show we ended, we just said we shared that they were shut out.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's a trend now.
Any way to do it. So we gotta get those bashings in.
That's right. So for Kurt, Sam, Evan McGuire, I am James Mitchell saying, life is good today. Let's keep it that way.
Where